Hey, Real Green Ninja here. Today we're going to talk about renewing programs that have schedule dates. So let's begin. Now, most companies out there that have programs like fertilization programs and stuff don't actually use schedule dates when they're pulling their work. They usually do it like days since last service. Unfortunately, there are some companies out there that are starting to use schedule dates, and when they go to renew, the schedule dates aren't renewing the way they want to. So again, as with many of these videos that I make, this one was actually inspired by an actual call that I got from a customer of ours. So when we go into a customer's account, and I set up a couple scenarios here, let's take a look at Jim Goodwin. You'll see he has a 12-round program where every other round is skipped. Now, some companies might have an even month program, odd month program as two separate programs. This company that we're talking to, they had one program with 12 services, and they just skipped whichever ones they needed to skip out. Now, when we went into the job, you'll see that it's scheduled for every other month. Now, when they go to pull their work, again, they're using schedule dates. Again, most companies don't. But once you go to renew this job, as long as there's no repeat criteria set, it's going to renew the right schedule dates. So again, if we hit this little show hide repeat schedule information, you'll see it's actually set to none. I mean, we're set to every Friday, but again, the point is it's under the none tab, because remember, whichever tab is selected, that's what the system is going to look at when it goes to build out schedules and stuff. So again, we have our schedule dates up here. Now, most of you guys will do mass renewals. You can actually do individual renewals. It functions the same way, so we're going to get the same results, even if we're using the mass renewals. But when I go to renew this job, I'm going to turn around and tell it that I want to use the same day of the week. So if it's a Friday in 2017, it's going to try to make it a Friday in 2018, as close to the original date from 17 as possible. When we hit process renewals, you'll see those carried over. Again, it updated, and again, you'll see it's every other month. We're good here. But also, the criteria is set to none. If we go to the next customer, which again I set up, we open up the job screen here, you'll see he's actually the same type of setup. The one key difference, though, is that this person right here, he actually has repetition criteria set. This is where we kind of ran into our issue, because some of the customers, the person I talked to, schedule days carried over fine. Other ones, it got messed up. And this is what happened. If I go to renew this one that has scheduling criteria and hit renew and tell it same day of the week. So again, we're pretty much everything's the same, with the key difference of the repetition criteria being set. When I hit process renewals, you'll see it takes and it schedules every round as far as it can every 2 months. Unfortunately, it throws our schedule off. The reason why is because even though this is set for end never do, it's still scheduling out to it. So actually, what you'd want to do in a situation where you're going to set up one program that has like the 12 rounds and you're skipping rounds out and stuff, you'd actually set your repetition up for every month. So again, it would look like this, because even though there's a schedule here, the fact that this is set to an end for never do, it's never going to pull up on the invoice screen, and it's not going to pull up on the scheduler. So again, like I said, I talked to the QA department, and this is what they told us that the best thing would do is, if you need to have repetition criteria set in there, make sure it's set to 1 month, even though you're only doing it every other month, because again, it will schedule to those ends. When we hit renew, again, process renewals, you'll see here, again, it carried all over. Like I said before, if I go to my scheduler, it's not going to show up. If I try to pull the service, it's not going to pull up on my invoice screen. So, again, it's one of those challenging things that you don't find out until you run into it. So I hope this kind of makes a little bit of sense. The only other option is set your schedule up. Make sure this is set to none before you do your renewals, and then that way it won't actually build out a schedule based upon that criteria. So I hope this helps some of you guys out there. Hope it explains some of the things that you guys may have ran into and were scratching your head about. Other than that, you guys have yourself a wonderful day.